The heat, humidity, and rain beats a retreat when the sun arrives coming up.
And days of rain triggered a mudslide and flooded yards. How neighbors in Waukesha are preparing for more rising water.
Plus, President Trump wants the, quote, gutless official who wrote an op-ed in the New York Times to come forward. Why he says the paper should give up its source.
Leading the way with important local coverage. You're watching WISN 12 News this morning.
And we are starting this half hour with the weather because after days of rain, we are finally getting some dry days ahead.
And Sally, feels a lot different out there this morning, and I'd say for the better.
Well, and what we're looking at is a big high pressure building in, and for us, that means sunshine. And we're already beginning to break a little sun across southern Wisconsin. Right now, we're looking at 61 degrees. That's showing up at Racine, where skies are clearing nicely. We'll look at the big blue H influencing our weather over the next few days. And high pressure will help to keep our temperatures a touch on the cool side. Readings currently in the 50s and the 60s. Today, top out to around 68 degrees. I'll keep upper 60s in the forecast tomorrow, and just a skosh warmer for the weekend.
All right. Thank you, Sal. Appreciate it. Well, the Fox River in Waukesha crept into people's backyards, causing some major issues and a road washout.
12 News' Ben Hutchison has more from Northwest Avenue and Bethesda Court.
I'm standing next to a fire pit here in the middle of a backyard. The water still about a foot deep.
Back where the grass is out there, that's the riverbank, and you can see it's up pretty far.
The Fox River flows through Waukesha, but it isn't usually Ethan Green's closest neighbor. Seen this before?
Yeah, back in the day when I was building an ark.
He's got jokes. Green still has his sense of humor. Over the last 5 days, he's watched the water levels rise. Concerned?
Not yet. Not quite worried about the house just yet, but if it keeps going like this, we'll start looking to buy a pump or something.
But he's keeping a close eye on it.
Back there is just the garden, the fire pit, a couple freshly planted apple trees, and nothing too fancy.
Water did cause problems a short distance away. Pewaukee Road at North Street had to be shut down because of a slope washout. Chunks of rocks and mud slid across sidewalks and the roadway. Back at the Greens, he thinks they'll be fine in the end because their house is elevated.
Pretty much every year we get a flood, so.
Last night's heavy rain combined with weeks of flooding across the area mean another sewer overflow. The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District put out the note last night. This is the third in less than a month and the fifth of 6 allowed by the state per year. According to their website, at least 760 million of gallons of overflow have already been dumped so far in 2018.
Now to new details and new video of that armed robbery spree that we told you about yesterday on Milwaukee's South Side. Only on 12, the video shows a clerk taking matters into his own hands. Take a look at this. He's fighting the would-be robber with a trash can, swinging it around. This happened just before 9 o'clock Tuesday night at a gas station near Clement in Oklahoma.
My employee hit the garbage can. He dropped his box cutter and he left, and he came again to pick up the box cutter.
Well, after that, police say that same suspect hit at least 2 more gas stations and 2 restaurants in less than a half hour, all of them on the south side. Investigators say he never showed a gun, but implied that he had one. No one got hurt, but if you recognize the man in this picture, call Milwaukee police. The Wisconsin Badgers football player accused of raping 2 women is expected in court today.
Badgers wide receiver Quintez Cephas appeared in court last month, but has a preliminary hearing in the case this morning. The UW junior has denied any wrongdoing. His attorneys filed a motion to have the judge throw out a second-degree sexual assault charge, claiming they have evidence, including video and text, to prove his innocence. The Badgers already suspended Cephas indefinitely from the team. Despite controversy, Nike is bringing its newest ad campaign to primetime.
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.
The spot features Milwaukee-born Colin Kaepernick. The former San Francisco 49ers quarterback sparked controversy for taking a knee during the national anthem to bring attention to racial injustice. Nike will air this spot during tonight's NFL season opener. 12 Sports' Stephanie Sutton asked Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers what he thinks about it.
Aaron, what do you think of the Nike ad, the latest one with Colin Kaepernick? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, Nike has the right to put anybody they want in their ads.
I think there's been enough reaction from other people. I wear Adidas, so I'm not in the Nike tent anymore. But I think the ad kind of speaks for itself.
President Trump, who's been critical of players who don't stand during the anthem, reacted on Twitter, saying that Nike is getting killed with anger and boycotts. Well, what a difference a day can make, and not for the better in this case.
I know. Talk about it. The Chicago Cubs turning the tables against the Brewers last night at Miller Park. The Brew Crew hoping for a series sweep, but they lost 6-4. Here's the home run by Kyle Schwarber that put the Cubs up 6-1 in the 6th inning.
Now let's just forget about that loss for a minute and go back to the win the game before. This one is much better story for the Brew Crew. After a dominant 11-1 victory over the Cubs, a big win in more ways than one, because take a look at this massive L flag. Some Brewers fans took it out after the game. The flag became an instant hit on social media, a lot of people tweeting about it. 12 News tracked down the fans who got that flag in the park.
So we packed it in my daughter's Little Mermaid backpack. It was just me and my husband, and we brought it in, and the guy stopped us, and he looked at it, he's like, "What's this?" And we're like, "Oh, it's a flag. It's a huge flag."
It's massive, 15 feet by 25 feet. Carissa Ryan said her husband had it custom made to counter the W flag that Cubs fans fly whenever there's a win. The Ryans, who live north of Madison, were at the park last night hoping to let it fly again, but of course that did not happen. You can't fly that when you actually lose.
Yeah. No, it takes on a different meaning if your
Different
team's the one
effect.
that loses.
Well, coming up, 100 people coughing uncontrollably, a plane forced into quarantine. This was on the tarmac at JFK.
The reality star and rapper who was among the passengers who was stranded, why he says it was like a scene out of the movie E.T.
Plus, President Trump sets his sights on the anonymous person who wrote an op-ed in the New York Times, why he says the paper needs to reveal the source.